what's up you guys? I'm Cool Ever Little Imp, and welcome back to Beacon Pines. I can jump? Did I know I could jump? Anyway, we're going to go meet Rolo over by the, mission control, if I can get across this bridge. And then we gotta meet Beck for dinner. Do I have any new bait? I don't know. Do you think jam would make a good bait? I guess it depends on what you're trying to catch. At this point, anything. Okay. Let's see if I have new bait. I don't know if I do or not. I do. Okay,
Luca placed a sinker on the line. Sometimes the best stuff is at the bottom of the pond.
That's where the catfish live, so I would agree. I like how I get real quiet right here, like I'm actually having to focus. Message in a bottle? Malice 80 proof whiskey. Hard liquor for a hard man. Best leave that be. Takes a real piece of work to leave something like that laying around. I would agree. But okay, let's go back to modern day. Alright, Rolo, what's up? Was I supposed to meet Rolo here? Pretty sure I was. So we're gonna meet Beck at the big creek. I guess not. I could have sworn Rolo had said something about meeting him here. Oops. My bad. Oh well, I guess we're gonna go have dinner instead. Which is all the way on the other side of town. This way, I think. Do I know what's down here? Is this the museum and stuff? Yes, okay. I thought he was gone. Didn't it say something about he shut down and left? Good morning, Jeff. What's so good about it? Another day further down the tubes, if you ask me. Come on now, it's not all bad. The festival's coming up. Huh, the festival. Old man Valentine used to put that cockamamie shindig all the time. Where'd that get us? Well, it's perennial harvest putting on this one. And they're doing it for the whole town. As far as I see it. The difference between old Valentine Company and this new perennial harvest outfit.
Jeff dug through his pockets for a bit.
Is the difference between this empty soup can and this brown banana. But those are both garbage. Exactly. Okay, so Jeff went from happy haha man to bitter homeless man? That's a great outcome for him. Love that. So who all lives at that house? Eris and Gus Valentine grew up there. And Solomon moved back in a few years back. That creepy little kid in the vest? That sounds like the one. So just 3 people live in that huge thing? I bet a bunch of shady stuff happens all the time in a place like that. Not really. The Valentines pretty much keep to themselves. So it's empty and boring? Pretty much. What a waste. My mom says that it used to be way busier back before Sharper died. Before that foul harvest. Okay, that makes the 5th time somebody's mentioned this foul harvest thing. And you all use that same ominous tone. Eventually, you're going to explain to me how that harvest got all fouled up. But we can't keep my parents waiting anymore. This way. It's a nice little cottage. Most kids would have just ditched me by this point. Why are you still here? You look like you could use some help. You know what, Luca? You're not so bad. Let's get through this as simply as possible. Just eat, smile, and nod. Fun. Great. Whatever you do, don't bring up their work. I think I can handle that.
Beck took a long breath, then gave a firm nod.
Here goes nothing.
Chapter 4. Dinner with the Moodwills. Ilona Moodwill was worried about change. A gardener at heart, she understood the necessity of change, relied on it even. But there was a difference between the controlled world of her plants and this cluttered cottage in a strange town. Almost done. Nellie was a blur of activity, digging through boxes. Sorry, love, couldn't find the dishes. We'll have to make do with paper plates. Dinner went by without much conversation. As she watched Beck and Luca finish up their pizza, Ilona let herself relax into the chair. The things she cared about were still here. Nellie finally had the job of her dreams. Beck was beginning to take root. Ilona's task was simply to tend to them. She could do that.
I don't like the way that was phrased. So, Luca, tell us a bit about yourself. Where do you live? Oh, I live with my grandma. Over the other side of the river. Your grandma? Where are your parents at? Beck, manners. It's alright. My dad passed away in an accident at the fertilizer plant 6 years back. Oh dear. My mom's been missing for a few months now. Like, missing?
Luca's eyes were fixed to his plate, pushing a chunk of pineapple around with his finger. Nellie was the one who eventually broke the silence.
Luca, how did you like the pizza? Oh, it was good. Very good. Normally we'd have put more effort into dinner.
Ilona nervously gestured toward the boxes.
We're fully settled in, and Beck had mentioned that it's your favorite. I'm sorry, are we just skipping past the part where he said his mom was missing? Beck! I'm sorry, Luca. This move has us all a little tired.
Luca wiped his face with his sleeve.
No, it's fine. So, Beck said you moved here for work?
Beck gave Luca a swift kick under the table.
The one thing she said don't mention. Ow! I mean, what brought you to Beacon Pines? Oh, you were right the first time. We were here for work. Nellie won't tell you this, but she's a brilliant chemist. I don't know about brilliant, but I do love it. She's brilliant. Perennial Harvest just made her their newest lead research of deep engineering. Is that not the body that they found in the dumpster? Or, well, got thrown onto them in the dumpster? She makes it sound more impressive than it is. I'm just happy that I get to make a difference in the world. Perennial Harvest is at the forefront of evolving agriculture, into something more useful than sparkling water and excrement in the ground.
Luca glanced over to Beck. She seemed to be holding her breath.
What Nellie means, Luca, is that there are different ways to grow plants. Yes, some people talk to their plants and hope for the best. And some people happily leave their job to allow a loved one to pursue their dream. You swore you didn't!
Beck slammed her fist into the
Jesus.
table. Perhaps harder than she intended.
Hey, Luca! How about some dessert? I actually have to meet my friend Rolo soon.
Luca glanced outside to gauge the time. The sky was darker than he expected, filled with ominous clouds.
We'll Looks like there'll be a storm brewing. I should get going. Oh, I didn't think there was any rain in the almanac. Yeah, almanacs aren't that useful around here.
Luca wiped his mouth one last time with his napkin and started to get up.
Thank you all for the pizza. It was really good. See you at the festival, Beck. And she's gonna follow. Yep. Wait up. I'll walk you home. See? Beck gets it.
Surprised, Luca turned around. He knew Rolo could be prickly around new people.
Beck gets it. You don't just let another kid wander off into the darkness to be snatched up by somebody. Luca.
But Beck seemed cool. Rolo would warm up to her eventually. Probably.
Oh, so I can either make it storm, or I'm guessing make the storm go away. Let's go with Rumble first.
Luca began to respond, but the sky answered for him as the clouds above began to rumble with ominous thunder.
You sure we can make it home before the storm kicks off?
Luca surveyed the roiling clouds.
I'd say the odds are good. Maybe you should stay here, and I'll just make a break for it.
At that moment, the heavens opened up, unleashing torrential rain.
Care to recalculate those odds? Hurry inside, you two, before you catch a cold. So you're just kidnapping me for the night? Luca, Nellie will keep trying to reach your gran on the phone. In the meantime, you two hold tight. Sorry, not much to do up here. Most of my stuff's still in the boxes. Mind if I poke around? Be my guest. So, we have been kidnapped, but this time we're
Luca
safe.
Squinted into the eye hole of the microscope.
This looks wild. What is it? Gum? Gum?
Luca adjusted the slide with his fingers to get a better look.
I'm tracking the structural integrity of gum with increasing amounts of chewing. Chewed that one for 47 days.
Luca wiped his hand off on his sweater and gave a nervous laugh.
It's weird, I know.
Beck looked down, timidly tapping the ladder with her feet.
You think it's weird, don't you? A little. But weird can be cool. Oh, wow. Rolo and I have a radio just like this at the treehouse. Probably not exactly like this one. My mom and I tore the whole thing down to the bolts. Fitted it with some state-of-the-art vacuum tubes. She seems pretty awesome. She gets carried away sometimes. I think she feels guilty for working too much. So when she does have time for me, she showers me with high-tech overcompensation.
Luca flicked at one of the toggles.
I bet you can get all sorts of stations on this. Not out here in the boonies. You wouldn't believe the stuff I could pick up back in the city. But around here, it's all farm reports and static. Aw, shucks.
Luca bent down to examine the bouquet of wilting flowers.
Chihiro!
Judging by the odor, they were well past their prime.
Pungent.
He flipped open the attached card.
Happy trails from Coach Walker and all the Fairview condors. Boy, you weren't kidding about poking around, huh? Oh, sorry. Was this from your old school? The most recent one, yeah. Some schools give me going away cards. Some did flowers. When they're really trying to feel good about themselves, they do both. So you've moved a lot. Yeah, that's the thing with having a brilliant parent. There's always a better job somewhere else. These These flowers would last longer if you put them in some water. That's the sort of thing I would do if I cared. Well, you cared enough to keep them is all. Luca, can I ask you something? Of course. Superhero landing. Dang, didn't that hurt? I'll be honest. That hurt more than I expected. Well, at least you look cool doing it.
Beck took a moment to watch the rivulets of water running down the window.
Do you ever feel alone? Like even when people are around? Well, Rolo can be pretty absent-minded sometimes. I'm serious. Does it ever feel like your family doesn't care what you want? It didn't used to feel that way. I know Gran loves me, but sometimes when she looks at me, it's like she's looking at a problem.
Luca took a deep breath, exhaling slowly.
I know the feeling. How do you deal with that? I guess I haven't yet. But one thing my dad told me when I was little, don't hold a grudge, especially against yourself. If you try to hold it all in, you're gonna pop. So then, what do you do when you don't know what to do? Dad never got to that part. Something I figured out on my own, though? You gotta do something. Anything. Here. What are you doing? I don't know. Something. We're gonna register our complaints with the storm. Listen here, you miserable universe. Stop jerking me around. I just want things to go back to the way they were. Everyone tells me it's gonna be alright. That things are gonna change.
Luca let out a feral scream that echoed into the night.
Every time something changes, everything gets worse. Screw this town. Whoa. Let me try. Moving sucks. I hate it. I hate that I hate it. Why can't I just deal with it and be happy for my mom? Why can't we just stay somewhere? Brah!
Her voice dropped to a trembling whisper.
I just want to be a normal kid.
Beck brushed off her shirt and straightened up.
There. Wow, I actually feel a little better.
As abruptly as it began, the storm abated.
Thanks. I needed that. Me too. I should head out before the rain starts up again. Sure, I'll walk you out. See you and Rolo at the festival? Sounds good. Luca, don't let the universe jerk you around.
Beck gave Luca a light thump on the arm before heading in. Chapter 5.
That was probably the shortest chapter we've gone through so far.
Friendly feud. The air was heavy with the hard rain's residue. The smell of wet things. Despite his dreary surroundings, Luca felt at peace. He'd never shared those details about his dad with anyone. Not even Rolo. But it's not like this changed anything. Rolo was still his best friend. Adding Beck to the group would help balance things out. Everything's better in threes. This is what Luca told himself as he headed to the treehouse.
Yeah, so we were supposed to meet him at the treehouse. They just wanted me to do Beck's thing first, I guess. Oh, hi! Hey, Don. Tracking down a lead? You bet! I heard a juicy new rumor. Turns out, when Sharper Valentine died, he left behind a particular last will and testament. Peculiar how? He didn't just give his kids an inheritance. There were conditions. Like what? The document stipulated that Eris had to take on a child as her ward. A kid our age, who just showed up to town one night with a lawyer. Solomon. Bingo! So Eris was forced to take care of him? Yep, or she would have lost everything. Why would Sharper care so much about some random kid? Rumor has it, old Sharper sowed some wild oats. That explains the way Eris treats him. Poor Solomon. How did you find all this out? A good reporter never reveals her sources, Luca. I guess. Are those mushrooms supposed to glow? I'd better not dilly-dally. Gotta get to the treehouse. I wasn't really trying to dilly-dally, I was trying to look at the glowing mushrooms. Don't stop me from getting radiation poisoning. You don't know me. You're still here. He met his old friend's eyes and was greeted with nothing but ice-cold anger. Heavens! This is no time for fractured friendships. So Rolo's mad at me. Good to know before I get ambushed. Excuse me, what are you doing? Just locking up for the night, sir? Oh, wonderful. I can only assume this means all festival preparations have been completed ahead of schedule. Not exactly, sir. The storm set us back a bit, and we're getting late, so we all decided to... You all decided? Yes, sir? I was unaware that your job involved deciding things. We're all here at Perennial Harvest because we believe in creating a better future, yes? Yes, sir, very much, sir. Do you want to be the one that tells this town that we failed them? No. That we gave up because there was a little rainstorm and we all got sleepy? Of course not, sir. Good, then it's decided. Yes, sir, we'll work till the task is done. See that you do. Our harvest awaits. Oh, gross. Are they gonna wind up harvesting people? Is that what we're doing here? Oh wait, can I... Never mind. I was gonna see if I could use Pungent as a... That seems like a fishing lure. Rolo, are you still up there? I'm sorry, Rolo isn't accepting visitors at the moment. Come back never.
Luca had only ever heard him speak in this stiff yet gentle tone a few times.
Oh, that was supposed to be Rolo.
And it always meant one thing.
You're upset. Oh, what makes you say that? Maybe because my best friend abandoned me for no reason? I didn't abandon you. I'm just a little late.
Rolo scoffed.
The rain held me up. Liar! You weren't even home. What? The storm got bad and I got worried. So I went looking for you. Imagine my surprise when I made it to your house and you weren't there. I hadn't made it back yet. I'm not a fool, Luca. It doesn't take all day to deliver some jam. No, that storm rolled in out of nowhere. And I got stuck after dinner at Beck's house.
Luca stumbled on his words, knowing he'd said too much.
Beck? Dinner? What the heck is a Beck? She's a new kid in town. She's actually kind of cool. You'd like her. She needed help convincing her parents that she'd made new friends. New friends? I spent all day waiting for you, and you were off making new friends? It's not like that, Rolo. You know? While I was waiting, I made some upgrades to Mission Control. It's gonna be a surprise. But you took so long, the storm knocked it all down. Just like you knocked down our friendship. What does that even mean?
Luca became instinctively angry in response. Both boys were now shouting across the distance.
It means you're a bad friend. You don't care about me. Of course I care, you jerk. I knew I'd get in trouble waiting so late for you. But I kept my word. Because that's what friends do. Oh, wow. What a noble sacrifice you made. Easy for you to say. Your grand doesn't even care. You can stay out as long as you want. And you wouldn't even get in trouble. Seriously? You're acting like I chose this? If that's what you think, then maybe you're the bad friend.
Rolo's tone changed to a calm, yet more intense anger.
Maybe Paul's right. Storms bring more than water. This one brought out the real Luca. So quoting your pa's nonsense like it means anything. Yeah? Well, at least my pa's still around.
The words hung in the cold night air.
Oh!
Rolo's stomach dropped, knowing he'd crossed a line. But it was too late.
Luca, Good night, Rolo. Dang it. What the heck was that? Is Rolo really so sensitive that just going to somebody else's house put him over the edge like that? Like, I mean, I know they're in middle school, but grow up.
Luca dug through his old stuff, not even sure what he was looking for.
Well, I found a ball. Rolo. What a jerk. Call me a bad friend? Ooh, I'm Rolo. Look at me and my amazing family. Am I just kicking a ball to kick a ball right now? It disappears. Oh, okay. There's options. I guess I'm just never supposed to make new friends.
Gran cooed gently from the hallway.
Oh, Luca? You slept straight through breakfast. Luca, are you alright? I'm fine. Just don't feel like getting up yet. Okay, I'll leave this oatmeal by the door. I gotta run out and take care of some things. Okay. I'll be back later to check in. Sure.
Luca just wanted to be alone. He waited to hear the sound of the front door closing.
Can I kick the ball some more? Kick. I bet Rolo's still gonna go to the festival. He's gonna be miserable. It's not like you're the one who's miserable right now. If Rolo thinks I'm still going to the festival with him, he can shove it. Oh, so we're really just staying in all day? What about Beck? You're supposed to meet her there.
Luca dozed off again.
Luca? I see you didn't eat your oatmeal. Wasn't hungry. Well, just in case you get hungry, I'll leave the sandwich here too. Thanks. Rolo came by. What did he say? He wanted to talk to you. What did you say? I told him you weren't feeling well. Good. So, your plan is to just sit in your room all day? Pretty much. Well, I need to pop away again for a minute. If you decide to end your pity party and go outside, I think it'd do you some good. Noted.
Luca still couldn't bring himself to go out. Besides, if he ran into Rolo, he'd have to actually confront the situation.
That's fair. There's never anything interesting at the festival anyway. I'm supposed to kick the ball up there? I don't know if I can do that. You're asking me to have talents that I do not have. There we go.
The Adventures of Hank Atomic.
The complete first volume.
Luca carefully opened the cover and began to read. Rolo had received it for his birthday, a special hardcover edition with behind-the-scenes commentary and bonus art. Rolo cherished it, but asked that Luca keep it at his house. Luca wasn't sure if it was because Rolo didn't trust himself with it, didn't trust his sister around it, or just wanted an excuse to come hang out at Luca's more often. Whatever the reason, Luca didn't mind. But it had stayed right there where Rolo had stashed it ever since. Now, at the foot of his bed, Luca lost himself in the pages. He'd read it all before, but at this moment, it somehow felt sentimental. He was well into issue number 5 when he heard soft footsteps from the hallway.
Luca, another little friend came to see you. A girl named Beck Modell. She said you met yesterday? What'd she say? Is she here? She was just dropping by. I told her you weren't taking visitors today. Oh. She seems nice. Yeah. You had a fight with Rolo, didn't you? Can I come in? Maybe later. Alright then. I'll leave dinner on the kitchen table, in case you want a bite before bedtime.
Without realizing it, Luca had pouted away the entire afternoon. He once again felt the weight of it all and allowed his weary eyes to close. Luca stood in a vast black expanse. He looked up at his father standing beside him.
You're gonna turn to ice again.
Walt was working a straw at the bottom of a fountain glass, trying to collect the last bits of milkshake. Dad, where are we? Taking a final loud gurgling sip, his father peered up from the glass. He jangled the straw playfully with a warm smile, then lifted the empty glass as if to point into the darkness. The source. Luca's eyes followed his father's gesture. In an instant, he was sitting in front of a blazing campfire. Across from him sat a large figure in a yellow hazmat suit.
How awesome.
The figure's voice was a scratchy echo. Well, if it isn't the man of the hour, make yourself comfortable. Luca held his shivering hands over the flame to warm himself. It doesn't work that way here. Their yellow-gloved hand pointed to the base of the flame. It's a cold flame, see? Luca peered at the base of the fire. It wasn't wood that was burning. It was Beacon Pines itself. Tiny buildings, freezing and crumbling as they were consumed by flame. Luca could see small shadows moving in the burning city. People. Luca leapt to his feet. We've got to help them! The figure gave a dismissive wave of their hand. Why waste energy helping people who can't even help themselves? The figure bent down to examine the panicked crowd as they desperately tried to stop the flames. They only care about what's right in front of them. Not like us.
What is happening? And can somebody get this boy some therapy?
Luca's voice was a trembling whisper. Us? The figure slowly stood up, grabbing its helmet with both hands.
Also, are they insinuating that his father didn't necessarily die in an accident? That he had something to do with all this?
With a jolt and a twist, the suit emitted a gasp. A cloud of torpid mist escaped, slowly revealing the face within. Luca's own face looked back at him.
What?
Older, worn, distant. The sensation was oddly familiar, as if he'd caught his own reflection by surprise in the mirror. The doppelganger smiled. I tried to help once. He gestured towards his face. And all it got me was this. Luca staggered back. You aren't me. Luca felt a hand catch his shoulder. His father was there again, beside him. Every choice sets us on a path. This is the end of one of your paths, son. Luca watched his older self shake its head ruefully, its face twisting into a cruel grin.
So is this actually happening? Am I getting a glimpse into the future? Do I need to be more careful about the paths that I am choosing?
Well, Dad, If he wanted him to see this, far be it from me to disappoint. Luca watched in shock as the figure took a confident step forward and plunged into the flames. In a flash of cold light, he was gone. What does all of this mean? Luca felt a reassuring squeeze on his shoulder. Just remember, why we choose matters just as much as what we choose. Luca woke up to see a hazy figure at the foot of his bed, silhouetted in the morning sun.
And screamed in terror. Mom? No, dear. It's only Gran.
Luca rubbed his eyes. The kind, concerned face of his Gran came into focus.
How are you feeling? Fine. Anything you want to talk about? I don't feel like talking. Just as well. How about you sit there and listen a bit? Whatever you and Rolo fought about doesn't matter. But he...
Gran silenced Luca with a gentle pat on the leg.
Fights between friends happen. What was said doesn't matter. The important thing is that it's not the last thing you ever say to each other. But the stuff he said about Dad... Well, do you think he meant it? No. He was just mad. And did you mean any of the things you said to him? No. Good. One must appreciate their best moments and accept them in their worst. Now, get your little butt out of bed. The festival's today. You don't want to miss that, do you? I guess not. Sounds like a good opportunity to make amends with Rolo, doesn't it?
Luca gave a reluctant nod.
So buy him a corn dog and apologize. But he's the one that... What did I just say? Buy him a corn dog. That's a good boy. Everything's better with corn dogs. I need to get going now. Got some last-minute festival business to take care of. I'll come find you at the fountain a little after lunch. All right. I love you, Luca. I love you too. And she dies.
Luca took a deep breath.
Anytime a character says I love you before leaving the room, they're dead. They're being written out in the next scene, guaranteed. Okay.
Chapter 6. Through Thick and Thin. Despite Luca's bitterness, Gran was right. He needed to hash things out with Rolo. A big fight changes the nature of a friendship. Whether, in the end, it is for the better or for the worse, all comes down to understanding. If one is not careful, the same familiarity that builds the strongest of bonds can become the wrecking ball that shatters them. Luca emerged from seclusion, taking in the crisp festival air. But the events of the day weren't on his mind. He had to find Rolo.
Well, you know he's gonna be at Mission Control, so... Oh. There you are! Luca! Rolo wanted me to tell you something. What is it?
Roxy rolled her eyes, shaking her head.
A space adventure through... A space adventure, though you needn't buy it. If you be brave, go somewhere quiet. Roxy, I don't... It's a riddle, Luca. My goofy little brother wants you to find him.
Luca looked down and kicked at the dirt.
Look, I know you two had a fight. The only thing more annoying than my little brother is my little brother without his best friend. So I'm doing him this one favor. Now I need one from you. Whatever it is that went down between you two, squash it. Space adventure, though you needn't buy it. If you be brave, somewhere quiet. Well, it's gotta be the Mission Control. I mean, space adventure, duh. New York. Unique New York. Huh? Oh, don't mind me. Just warming up for my big ceremony speech.
Mr. Kerr pointed to his grinning mouth.
Gotta limber up the old gat box. You're nervous? Oh, heavens no. Well, break a leg. Give me the... what? Give me the something. Can't say hi to you. I don't know who Perennial Harvest thinks they're impressing with this ridiculous festival. Totally. The town's still falling apart. The weather's still cruddy. And this season's harvest looks like it's gonna be worse than last year's. You said it. No amount of corporate pandering is gonna change any of that. Exactly. But the lemonade at the drink stand over there does look pretty tasty. Fits. I'm still gonna be mad at them. I'd just rather be mad while sipping some delicious lemonade is all. Fair enough. Welcome to our festival. Don't forget to come back later for Mr. Kerr's speech at the Perennial Harvest Festival sign reveal. You don't want to miss it. I think I do. How goes the beetle hunt? Pretty rotten. I haven't seen so much as an... And it's not just the beetles. This morning, I couldn't find any critters at all. It's like everything that buzzes or skitters just packed up and left. I'm sure they're here somewhere. Maybe all the commotion at the festival just spooked them? Yeah, maybe that's it. That's not it. Haha, every single time. Yup. Wait for it. Unexplained sound once again noted. Look around the corner, dude. Like clockwork. What a bunch of drones. Haha.
Jeff was staring into the distance with a wistful look.
Hey Jeff, everything alright? Huh? Yeah, everything's fine. I mean, used to be fine. Just ain't right these days, you know? I really do, actually.
Jeff turned to Luca with a furrowed brow, then gave an understanding nod.
You do, don't you?
For a moment, the two now shared that same wistful gaze.
Okay. I was actually thinking about it. It may also be the library. Hey, moving. Okay. So it's either going to be the treehouse or the library. Because I just remember they have books. The hexatomic books there. Did you hear? After Mr. Kerr gives his big speech, they're going to have the first annual biggest catch competition. As long as a boot qualifies as catch, I'm a shoo-in. Good luck. The chair. Is pungent a fishing lure? It is!
Luca wrapped a twig of thyme around the hook. Some fish have refined taste.
Plus it seasons your fish before you catch it. Give it a good cast now. Pre-seasoning your food. You have to reel it in a bit faster, or your catch will lose interest. Heh. I guess I missed the splash.
Luca wrapped a twig of some fish have.
Oh, this one's pretty easy. I almost had it all the way to the dock. A watch? Property of Sharper Valentine. Figures. If he had his way. Property of Sharper Valentine will be written on everything in this town. Should we give it back to him? He may not even want it back. The man's got a contentious relationship with time. We'll keep it here in case he ever wants to pick it up. Okay, bye, Dad. Wonder It looks like maybe 2 more things can fit on that blanket. So not the treehouse. To the library! If I remember where it is. Which I don't. A most welcoming of welcomes. Would you like to share your thoughts? We always strive to improve. Nope. That's the first time I've seen this many smiling faces since the foul harvest. I had my doubts about perennial harvest, but I must admit, they do put on a nice party. Hiya, Luca. What's Griffin doing? What? Oh, nothing.
Sorry all became flesh.
Just pretend I didn't say anything. Who's Griffin? You have nothing to say about this? Shocker. Piper, you're actually taking a break from studying? I just wanted to see what all the festival fuss is about. But I can't help but notice, you still brought your backpack full of books? Luca, backpacks can carry more than just books. True, true. So what you got in there? Books. I was able to return the perennial harvest safety suit you borrowed. Do you think anyone noticed? Oh, I don't think anyone noticed. Good. Now will you tell me what you need it for? It was a favor for an enemy of my enemy. This isn't gonna harm Mr. Kerr, is it? All you need to know is that it's for the good of the family. Right, so sketchy as hell. Got it. Luca, did you know that Beacon Pines is actually unincorporated? A lot of people don't know that. Wow, yeah, I didn't know. What does that mean? It means most public works are handled internally. We do all the pipelines, the water treatment, the building regulations. That's great. Census taking. Emergency services. Right. Hey, Luca. Oh, he's Griffin, right? So you're done at the library? Huh? Oh, nothing.
Griffin looked away suspiciously.
Nothing at all. Yeah, so it is the library. I just don't remember how to get... Oh, no, it's the other way. But we can talk to Don while we're here. Maybe do the diner.
I've got a question for you. What do you think this whole festival is for?
The way I figure it, Perennial Harvest is trying to win over the town. Like a bribe, but with balloons.
Cynical. I like where your head's at. That's what I assumed at first too, until I eavesdropped on a couple of gossipy clipboards. What if I told you that this whole thing is really a special shindig for a super secret guest of honor?
A special guest? Who?
I haven't dug that deep yet, but whoever it is, PH thinks they're a big deal.
Okay. Guessing that's locked. I still went the wrong way. I actually know where the library is, I swear. The library. Somewhere quiet. My favorite.
Hey, Luca.
Kato's eyes lit with excitement.
I've been expecting you. Bravo on deciphering the first riddle.
Riddle. The first.
Oh, you didn't think that was all, did you?
Rolo does go all out, doesn't he?
Kato straightened up and cleared his throat as if preparing to sing.
On planet Farpole, you may take issue. When the 5th king dies, you'll need a tissue.
Kato stared at Luca eagerly.
Get it? Want me to tell you?
No, it's okay. Let me figure it out.
Alright, when you find it, bring it here to be verified. And if you decide you want a hint, the offer still stands.
Yeah, it's the 5th issue. I don't remember where that was. Hi, Jace. Still working through the newest Hank Atomic? You know it. Some fascinating canon towards the end. Did you know? Hank Atomic Shrink Array doesn't technically shrink stuff. It uses inverse quantum particle delay to literally grow the entire universe around an object, leaving that object unaltered. So it just looks shrunk compared to everything else? Bingo. That's wild. But Jace, no spoilers, please. Alright, sorry.
Luca grabbed the Modern Science of Atomic Radiation from the shelf.
Once you've got a book, you can either bring it here to me, or just grab a different one.
Well, it's not this one.
Luca grabbed Natural Photography, Volume 5, from the shelf.
That is a 5th volume.
Let's see, what do we have here? Natural Photography, Volume 5. Nope, I'm afraid it's not the correct book. Okay, here's a hint. The words I emphasized are important. On planet Farpole, you may take issue. When the 5th king dies, you'll need a tissue. 5th issue.
Hey, 5th issue, 5th volume, same diff.
Luca grabbed The Adventures of Hank Atomic, issue number 4. Luca grabbed The Adventures of Hank Atomic, issue number 5.
There we go.
Ah, you found it!
Kato removed his book from the desk and replaced it with Luca's, turning on the lamp. As he slid the book under the purple light, 2 words glowed. The Adventures of Hank Atomic, issue 5.
Okay.
Luca clicked his tongue with recognition.
Rolo's cipher pen. He used to write secret messages everywhere with that. Only I had the special flashlight needed to reveal it. But I lost it.
Well, apparently he traded Jeff for this purple light bulb. Parted with his entire Halloween candy stash.
Oh, Rolo.
Now let's see here.
Kato began flipping through the pages, stopping when he hit a glowing word.
Get away with such a grift.
He continued flipping.
Only found in grub. Cart.
Reaching the end of the book, Kato looked up.
That's it.
Grift? And grub cart? Griffin. Griffin.
Griffin scrub cart.
He wants me to go to Griffin's snack stand.
Ah, brilliant. I guess you're off then. Good luck on the rest of your scavenger hunt.
Thanks, Kato. To Griffin! That's why he asked if we were done at the library, I guess. Hey, Griffin. Did Rolo come?
Before Luca could finish his sentence, Griffin handed him a corn dog.
Oh. That's it? Bought and paid for. Enjoy. I thought there was supposed to be a riddle or something.
Luca shrugged, taking a sizable bite out of the corn dog.
Yuck. It's cold. Oh yeah, it's been sitting here for a while. Rolo wanted me to be sure to give you that one specifically. Well, that's just...
Luca tongued at his cheeks, feeling something rough between his teeth. He reached into his mouth and pulled out a slip of paper.
Oh, come on.
He shook off the bits of corn dog to read the slip.
A pickup when you need some pep. Near the fountain, up the step.
Luca finished off the remainder of the corn dog.
This whole thing... This is getting to be a whole thing. And back to the girls who are asking about Griffin. No, Luca, why? There you are, Luca. There's no way I'm actually doing this. It's way below my pay grade. Oh, come on, you big stiff. Let the kids have some fun. Fine. But Rolo owes me one.
Lumi waved his hands around sarcastically as he began.
Oh, that's a guy. Okay. What takes flight but has no wings, your final task of friendship brings. See, that wasn't so hard. Ugh, I feel cheapened somehow. I think it's sweet. Good luck, Luca. I don't know. Unless it... Oh, well, he's right there. Hey. Hey. Did you find the comic book? Yep. And you got the corn dog? Yeah. Well then, I know it doesn't make up for what I said, but here, you've earned this.
Rolo sheepishly handed Luca the balloons.
Thanks. You didn't have to go through all this trouble. I'm sorry I got so mad. Dang it! You were supposed to let me apologize first. Oh, sorry. Now you've apologized twice before me. Just let me do this. Luca, I'm really sorry. With everything that's happened with your mom and all, I've always wanted to be there for you. Be a good friend, you know? When you said you were hanging out with someone else, I kind of freaked out. Rolo, still my turn. I felt like if you needed some new friend to help you, it meant I wasn't good enough. But that was selfish and wrong. I was wrong. I'm so sorry, Luca. Okay, apology over. You can talk now.
Luca threw himself at Rolo, hugging him as tightly as he could.
Rolo, I don't deserve you. I don't deserve you either. That's why we deserve each other. So, what else do you want to do today? We can snoop around and try to find some info about your mom. Snoop where? We could probably sneak into Perennial HQ while everybody's at the festival. Aren't you curious about all the stuff those clipboards write down? What if we get caught? I think I've had enough excitement for 1 week. Let's just make the rest of the day about us. Really? Yeah, the rest of the world can wait one more day. You know? I have been waiting to get some work done on the MCDC at Mission Control. The aim is a bit unpredictable. That sounds perfect. And that is also where we are going to leave this episode. I hope you enjoy it. Leave me a like if you did. Comment down below. Subscribe for more. And I'll see you in the next one. Bye, guys.